Well, howdy from after a week off in Ely. So I was only going to stay 3 days. And then I decided, I'll stay another extra day. And then I decided, I'll stay an extra day. Then I said, I'll stay an extra day. So a week off in Ely. And now got about 4.5 days to get to Utah. And then we'll be in Utah. So now we're headed to a place called Cave Lake State Park. Don't think I'll make it today because got a real late start. Went to church and all that. This is Sunday. Oh, and by the way, after church, I was walking through the neighborhood, go down the store to get some stuff. This lady stopped and said, "Hey, want to get something to eat?" I said, "Huh?" Well, actually, she said, "Do you need anything?" I said, "Well, can you take me to the store?" She said, "Yeah, I can do that. By the way, you want to get some breakfast?" So anyway, it turned out to be a lady who had seen me at church and said, she thought to herself, this guy isn't from around here. I wonder what he's doing. So she ended up leaving the church, then rounded back up and found me on the street. So that's you, Valerie. Thank you very much. We turned off the main road there, which is a combination Highway 6, Highway 50, going up to Cave Lake State Park. There's a couple campgrounds up there, but one's 5 miles away, the other one's I think 7 miles away. I don't think I'll camp in them because why pay when you can cowboy camp for free, right? And then so after tonight, then we go somewhere along the backside of that mountain and then drop back down to the highway, I believe, or cross the highway. And then we'll go to another set of mountains. Either before or after Baker. And then we'll drop down and get into Utah. Let's see, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 3.5 more days maybe. Well, so far so good for having started late today. Made it to Cave Lake State Park, and I think I got about another 1.5 miles to where it's going to be 12 miles. So not too bad, having started 1 o'clock, and it's 5:53. But look at this. I wonder where the state park boundary is. Could this be it right here? Red Road all the way up. Black Road all the way down. Red Road. Hey, that reminds me, what was that name of that Jack Nicholson movie back in the 80s? The Shining, right? The Shining, and the kid was saying, "Red rum, red rum, red rum." Huh. Red Road, Red Road. And I don't know if you can see this. I don't think you can. The swallows are all flying around. I think they're swallows. It looks like them. All right, let's see what we got up here. Man, the farther I come up in elevation, the more mosquitoes I'm getting, but they aren't. They don't seem to be experienced mosquitoes. They land, and they don't immediately, bam, dig into your skin. So it gives you time to swish them off instead of others that I've experienced in the past. That's Steptoe Creek. It's got a pretty good flow. And as we get up higher, it's actually getting faster and deeper than it was down there in the bottom. Well, howdy. Good morning. So, last night just camped under what did I camp under? That's right, a juniper tree. It was a fair spot, a little bit on the incline, but it was okay. So today we're just going up the Shell Creek Range and top out about 8,700 feet and then drop down into the valley where I think we're just going to camp amongst the bushes. And then tomorrow go up another mountain range and then get into Baker. And then the next day, Utah. Okay, I've got another plant identification request. You might recall a few episodes back, I asked you to identify that nice white flower that smelled like fruity jasmine. And one of you wrote back and told me it's evening primrose, so thank you very much. So how about this one right here? What would this one be? And is it edible? I saw these also in the, where did I see them? I think I saw them in the Alta Tequima range or somewhere around there. So if you know what it is, let me know. And if they're edible, next time I find them, I'll eat them. And you know, speaking of edible plants and all this walking and traveling I've done, I've always wanted the ability to be able to know which plants are edible. I've never taken the time to do it. I think it would be kind of a nice thing. Maybe that'll be my next project, learn about edible plants. Okay, naturally you'd think the road would go up that way, but it doesn't. It goes this way. And then what we're going to do is turn back this way. You'd think that naturally you'd think it would be going up that way to the low point, but no. It makes a dog leg and then there's a low point over there on the other side of that knoll. But look at this here. On this road marker at the very bottom, look what I found. American Discovery Trail. Looks like it's been there for a little bit of time. Looks like it's coming off too. Huh. All right, we made it to the summit. Took a little bit less than 3 hours to go, a little bit less than 6 miles. So we're about 2 miles an hour. And so now ideally where I'd like to camp tonight is about, let's see, that's about 5 miles, I guess. It's about 13 miles down, 12 and a half, 13, something like that. And, oh man, you know what, I'm irritated. And all these walks and all this hiking, never had a blister, right? And then yesterday, I started noticing a hot spot developing on my left heel. And I know exactly what it's from. I switched out my insoles when I got into Ely because my other ones were just all flattened out. So I had ordered these other ones that were supposedly specially developed for these barefoot type shoes. And yeah, they're nice and cushy, but they just, they're bunching up at my heel, and so darn it. Hopefully I can hold off a blister, keep my perfect record going, but I think it's going to be difficult, especially going downhill now. Oh no. Yeah. So by the way, I want to show you, so the plan is to camp maybe somewhere right down in, where are we here? Come on, there we go. Somewhere right there, down on the valley floor. And then tomorrow we're going up over those mountains. You can get barely a peak of Wheeler Peak. Right there, that's 13,000, but we're going to be over on the left side of it. And I think we're going to top out about 7,800. So it looks kind of ominous, snow and all that, but I think we'll be clear. Keep our fingers crossed, yeah. In the meantime, I think we're going down, and I think we got, I don't know, are we going up that way or down around that way? I don't know. Soon find out. Well, almost ran into this guy. I was looking at something else, and then he started, hey, I'm here. Buzz, buzz, buzz. So, guess I'll go up over here, out of your strike zone, huh? Where'd you go? Okay, there. Did that make you happy? I see you still watching me, but you got your rattle coiled now. So I just went up on the berm there. Well, that was my first rattlesnake. See you later, buddy. You gotta pick a better place. Somebody might come driving up here and they'll squish you. I guess I'll be on the lookout for some others. Wonder if I'll have some down at my campsite tonight. Well, here's an interesting sign I've just come across. Caution! Pet owners, take notice. Traps or snares have been placed in this area to capture harmful animals. Huh. And if they got traps to capture humans, they're pretty harmful at times, right? I haven't seen any tracks that will denote anything harmful. I saw some rabbit tracks back there, but nothing else. Wow, so I've been just basically walking down this canyon most of the day. I took a 2-hour break. Ha! But all of a sudden, it's just like all of a sudden, bam! It opened up. It wasn't like a gradual thing. It's really a striking difference. This is called Cooper Canyon, I believe. All right, finally down from those mountains, and here's what we're looking at for tomorrow. So we go down this way to the road, and then out that way to the windmills, and then I'm pretty sure we're going up right about there, and then over that way through there. And then on the other side would be Baker, Nevada. And aren't you glad? I am. They weren't going over that. That would be from the bottom of the valley up to the top there. It'd be a 7,300 foot climb. Kind of tough, huh? So I fell a little bit short today, mostly because of my that dumb blister thing. So that teaches you for don't change your equipment in the middle of a hike. So I've been hobbling along about 2 miles an hour last couple hours. So I think I'm only going to go about another half hour and then call it quits. That'll be 6:30, and then take it up from tomorrow. Good night. Good morning. If I can get up and get moving in the next 2.5 minutes, I'll get out of here before 7 o'clock. How's that sound? I woke up a little bit after 5 and just figured, start getting up. What? Took you 2 hours to get? Well, you know, I ate and all that sort of stuff. So here's the remainder of the campsite. Blocked me from the wind, but then the wind died down, so that was okay. Now the mosquitoes are starting to get up. So I got to get up and get going and going out there somewhere. So let's get a move on. Well, 7:03. But still, it's the earliest I think that we've gotten out. You know what's also interesting too is that in some of these random campsites, because this one's completely off the road, which is right down there. Some of these random campsites, I've found that others have used these campsites long time ago. I just came across an old tin can. I mean, it's got to be at least 20 years old, at least, I think. The way it's so rusted, if not older. It's probably got to be at least 30 or 40 because there's one of those ones you open with a can opener. Something else I've been finding interesting is that we're getting to the almost to the very eastern edge of the time zone here. Let's see, tomorrow. So tomorrow night we'll be at the far eastern edge of the time zone. And why it's interesting is because the farther east you go, you know, the earlier the sun rises. And so then it'll be interesting crossing over into Mountain Time Zone, and the sun will be coming up late, but it'll be staying out later. And the other thing that's interesting too, well, not interesting, but the other thing as far as the day goes today, is that got about 15 miles to the next water, unless we magically find some other water somewhere. And got 3 liters, so it should be okay. Although I did put some electrolyte powder in one. I got some electrolyte powder just to try it out. So I wonder if that's going to tend to make me drink it faster. Then by the time I get to the water source, it's like, oh, water. So I'm just making a slant here, just get back to the road. My left heel's a little bit better, but still tender. So that might affect our speed today. Rasm, frasm, scasm, rah. Alright, there's where we came from. Just crossed this road, which is 6 and 50. And you know, the whole time I hadn't seen any cars. And now I think I'm seeing one coming from over there. Might be one from over there. Now supposedly I got to go up this way about a half mile or so and then turn down and then come back down this way. However, I see a shortcut on the map which will save me a mile. So I'm just going to go up to these piles of dirt here and see if I can see there's supposed to be a road that's over there. If I can't see it, then I come back and then go around that way. Well, you want to see how successful our 1 mile shortcut is? Had to go through those gravel piles, and was a little bit of bushwhacking through the scrub here, but eventually found it. How about that? So instead of a mile, with the bushwhacking, I think I'm saving 3/4 of a mile, but still 3/4 of a mile on a sore heel. I'll take it. And a hot day. It's already hot. It's only 7 something. Sheesh. Where is it? There it is. Yeah. I don't think you can see them, but there they go. A couple of antelope out there saying, hey, who's over there? You know, it's interesting. I think I've mentioned this before. There they go. Is that of all the animals out here on the open prairie, it seems like it's the antelope that are the ones that keep you the farthest away. You're lucky if you can get a 1/4 mile close to them. They just zoom off. Oh, those are a little bit closer than a 1/4 mile. Hey, I'm your friend. Okay, come on over. Let's walk together. They aren't having it. Well, we're getting up to the highway here. Maybe turn left, you can see where it is. But it looks like here's the bulk of the day coming up right there. Up, 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 up. It's going to be about a 2,000-foot climb. Or we've probably already done some of it, but not a whole lot. If I want to be lazy, I can take a 4-mile detour around on the highway, which is going to be only a 1,000-foot climb. I think, however, my foot the way it is, the extra mile, or the extra 4 miles isn't going to work. And yeah, so I'm going to take a break here at the highway. We've been going a little bit over 2 hours. And pick it up from there. It's almost after 9 o'clock. It's already hot. Okay, walking the highway just a little bit till we get up to that dirt road I showed you. But that last leg, that first leg there, first 2 hours of the day, I'm actually surprised. I made 2.5 miles an hour. But we'll see with this one. Like I said, it's 2,000 feet elevation gain, and maybe 2,300. And I think it's about 10 miles to the top. Doesn't look like it, but according to the mileage stuff I've got, it says 10 miles. So I guess I'll be satisfied with 5 hours. That'll be, let's see, 5, 9, 14. That'll be about 2:45 without stops. Maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock with stops. Well, we're starting up the road. It's called Oola Road. I wondered why it had that name. Then I saw a marker back there. It said there was a place back in 1872. They discovered a quartz vein containing gold with a little bit of silver and tungsten. The vein was 12 miles long and 7 miles wide. And so there was a gold camp that developed up here called Osceola Camp. Guess it wasn't a town, so you can't have a ghost town up here. Anyway, when all was said and done over the years, they extracted about $5 million in gold out of it. In today's dollars, I guess that'd be a lot. I don't know, how much was gold back in 1872 versus today? What's it, 2,200 bucks an ounce? Do the math, and what's that, maybe $1 billion or something like that? But I want to show you something else here too. Look, a long ribbon of highway. So we walked that a little bit there. It came from over there yesterday. And I'm actually quite surprised. And along that stretch of highway, even with my foot here, we're doing 3 miles an hour. I was timing myself with the milepost. So, okay, so I took a break down there. I'm going to take a break here. Maybe that's what's helping me. And then up we go. Guess I'm thanking these windmills for stirring up the wind and giving me somewhat of a tailwind coming up this hill. Thank you very much. It's getting steeper as we go. Alright, we made it just about the first 1,000 feet. Not too bad, 2.3 miles an hour. But I'm kind of feeling draggy, and how appropriate that the rest stop would be this old cemetery here. A lot of people here in the 40s were in their 40s. One guy back there, born 1827, died in 1903, and this is kind of a poignant plot. That's a mother, 1861 to 1915, and that was a baby, like only 8 or 9 months. That was a baby, about 10 months. And then this was a mother, 1826 to 1899. And then this was twins who were 3 months old. And can't read that one, but I'm wondering if they were babies as well. Hard life up here, huh? And not only is it interesting or poignant to see the years or the dates on the graves. But it's also interesting to see the size of the graves. 1848 to 1903. But most of the graves, you know, they're shorter than what we would typically consider a grave. And, you know, I've heard that people back in the day were much shorter. And I also noticed, too, quite a number of the graves have flowers on them. So I don't know if it's truly relatives of these who've passed on and keep it up, or if it's just some volunteer group that comes and does it. So let's remember these people, pray for them, pray for their families that have continued on in life. And speaking of continuing on, I guess it's time for us to make the next 1,000 feet. We did this one at about a little bit less than 3 miles, and then this one is next 1,000 is a little bit less than 4 miles. So, all right, and we need water, and there's water up there. Hopefully, I'm running out. Well, I ended up taking lunch here. Something about cemeteries. I didn't eat in the cemetery, but there's something about cemeteries, to me anyway. They're somewhat peaceful. I don't know why. Anyway, off we go. Like I said, about 4 miles to the summit. It's actually 1,200 feet elevation gain. So, see how long it takes. It's 2:20. Road's going along this little mining operation. I see some vehicles over there, so I guess it's still an ongoing thing. But it looks like a pretty sleepy little mine. And the road's been pretty level. So you know what that means. All of a sudden it's going to go, oh, wait a minute, we didn't get up high enough. Like that right there. Like the power poles. Let's just follow them. Looks like some old mining claims, maybe even currently active. They're just tucked right up there in the hill. Trailer there, looks like it's still being used. Look at this building here. It was pretty good size. Over here across the road. Obviously not used anymore. Need a truck, there's one. Bet you they'd sell it to you for real cheap. Probably even pay you to take it away. Look at this, it looks like I'm at the saddle, right? But no, I happened to glance at this sign here. Look at that, American Discovery Trail. And it's a good thing I saw that, because I was just blindly going to go down this way, but actually the trail goes this way. Still got another 300 feet in elevation to go, roughly. And here's something interesting too. Look at this. Somebody really was able to squeeze that little camper in amongst the trees there. Huh. As you can see, it's getting to be that time of day. It's about 6:15, I think. Just stopped back there at Mud Spring. Filled up with 5 liters of water, because I don't know how reliable the 2 creeks up ahead are. And I've got, well, I filled up with 2.5 liters, because I already had 2.5. No, 3.5, because I already had 1.5. I don't know. I've got 5 liters of water now. Oh, brother. And I'm, where am I going? I'm going North Carolina, is that it? But I've got, from back there at the spring, I have about 15 miles to get to Baker, Nevada. Like I said, I don't know how reliable the 2 creeks are up here. So, 5 liters should be more than enough to get me down there, especially since it's all going to be downhill. Although with this heel, I'm going slower. So tonight, just going to find a random spot. My original plan was just camp somewhere near that spring, not at the spring to frighten away the animals, but I'm going at least another mile down, maybe 2 miles, see how I feel. Still got about 45 minutes before the sun drops below the mountain. See what happens. All right, I held up about a third of a mile short of where I was going to go. I found a semi-level spot underneath what kind of a tree? That's right, a juniper tree. So should be okay here. I'm off the road, and I get a little bit of sun peeking through. So this is it for tonight, and I don't think there's going to be any mosquitoes. Good. Buenos dias. So good news. It's about 7:40. Getting out of here at 7:40. Can you believe that? Nice little sight last night. Now the bad news is I got up 2 hours ago. So it took me 2 hours to get started and get going. Oh well, it is what it is. It's gonna be a warm day. It's nice, it's pleasant in the shade. It's already hot in the sun. But at least it's all, I think, all downhill. As I think I mentioned yesterday, the goal today is Baker, Nevada. It's going to be about 14 miles away now since we went a mile further last night. And that'll set me up for the next day for Garrison, Utah. Yeah, that's right, Utah. 6 miles away, 5 or 6 miles away. And I need to pick up a resupply box at the post office. And that'll be my food for the following 93 or 95 miles till I get into Milford. And then Milford will be, then it'll be, I think, 28 miles from Milford to Beaver. So I don't know, I think I'll just pass through Milford when I get over there, and then maybe take a day off in Beaver. You know what happens when I take a day off? I get sucked into the vortex. So maybe from Beaver, I'll just pass through there and go to Circleville. Circleville's a small town. I don't know. Too much thinking. Let's get a, oh, look at this. Here's a stream. Perfect timing. I think I'll get some water because I've already used 2 liters from my 5 from last night. So I'll get some water here. That was refreshing. So I loaded up on 5 liters again. Don't know if I'm going to need all it now since this one wasn't even on the map or as a report. Because there is even a report from a couple years ago of a stream flowing down on the valley floor. But I guess, you know, better safe than sorry, right? I'm going downhill, so just carrying 5 liters downhill is not that much of a problem, except for my heel. So, it's better safe than sorry, right? More water than less. Alright, so we come about 5 miles. I get to this right here. It's some, looks like some sort of power station for fiber optic cables, I guess, for AT&T. But the reason why I wanted to show it to you is listen to this. That's right, there's nothing to hear, isn't there? It's, that's the quietest air conditioning unit that I've ever heard. Very, very quiet. You know, that's really balanced. It's probably a very good quality one. The other thing I want to mention too is walking on this dirt road here is in some parts of it there's been washboard. For those of you who've driven dirt roads, you know about washboard and how bone jarring it can be no matter how slow you even drive. But walking on washboard can really be difficult as well. There's not really too much here because you can't really match your steps to the to the inundations. So it's almost like walking on railroad ties and train tracks. You just can't match your steps to it, and so it's like boom, bam, ooh, ow. So that's what I have to say about washboard roads. And just like that, we're back out to the highway. And just like before, nobody there. Nobody there. I don't know, should we just lay down? Let's lay down in the middle of the highway. No, I'm not gonna lay down. I could if I wanted to. I don't really want to. If I did want to, I would. Well, I stopped at that Strawberry Creek back there. Dipped my foot in there for a bit and see if that helps. Got 8 miles to Baker, but what I want to mention is, as soon as I got started, I was looking at the gravel and everything. Go, hey, I dreamt this before. Deja vu. I've actually had deja vu quite a few times on this trip, and I also seem to have it in life. I've seemed to have it quite regularly in waves. It comes and goes. How about you? Deja vu? Ever had it? Is it freaky? Is it wonderful? How would you explain it if you've experienced it? Well, would you like to say goodbye to a friend? Goodbye, friend. It's Highway 50 going west. It's Highway 50 going east. About 6 miles to the Utah border. And we're saying so long, Highway 50 and Highway 6. As we head over into Baker. And if we were heading just directly east, we'd stay on 50, just go across that way. But so long, friend. Guess I won't see you again. No, I won't see you again. It's always kind of an interesting feeling when you've been on something for a real long time, and then you part ways. And I just noticed 87 to Milford, 12 to Garrison. Garrison's where we're going tomorrow. Milford, I thought that was gonna. Well, I'm going the long way to. I'm going the long way to Milford. So from Garrison, I believe it's about 90 miles to Milford. So why take the short route when you can take the longer scenic route, right? Yeah. I think that's why this trip is going to be about 4,000 miles long. If I just cut straight across, it'd probably be only about 3,200. I have a feeling, though, that when I get past Oklahoma, I might be cutting off some squiggles and turns, because the Transamerica Trail, which I'll be following, or which I'm planning on following, pretty much goes zigs and zags and zooms and zigzags. So I might do that. Can you see that? Probably not. Try this. Way off in the distance there. It's Baker. Looks pretty close, doesn't it? Well, it's about 4 miles away. Just keep my eye on it, and it won't disappear. I like being able to look out on these long distances and see the goal way up ahead. Some people, you know, who are really maybe immersed in time will look at it and just think that that's takes an interminably long time to get there, and it just seems like it doesn't get closer and closer. But for me, like I've said before, I just turn time off, and I guess distance as well, and just keep the eye on the goal and don't even think about how far it is or how long it takes to get there. It's just there. And then when you're there, it's like, oh, I'm here. I'm here, I'm here, I'm everywhere. I'm crazy, I'm delirious right now. Clouds are making it nice to block the sun. Thank you very much, clouds. It was kind of hot there in the sun. All right, Great Basin National Park Visitor Center. Let's see what it looks like. Guess what? I didn't show you the visitor center. There's a story to that. You want to hear it? Sure you do. So I got to the visitor center. Well, let me back up. I'm here in Baker, Nevada, and it's now 4 days later from when I got here. What happened? So I got into Baker, Nevada. I got to the visitor center, and started talking to the guys at the visitor center and charging up my phone and stuff. And I thought, you know what? I should check on a resupply box that I sent myself. So when I was in Ely, back in Ely, I packed a resupply box for myself to send to Garrison, Utah, which is 7 miles down the road, and which is in essence the beginning of the next leg to Milford, Utah, which is 93 miles, plus or minus. So I went to the USPS website to check on my box, and guess what? They sent my box to Texas. Garrison, Utah to Boyd, Texas. Now what happened here? So I immediately got on the phone and finally got a hold of somebody at the customer service center in the post office. And, all they could do is just repeat back the same stuff that I saw, the tracking information that I saw on the website. Well, it's in Boyd, Texas. And so, I quote unquote escalated it to get a case number, and supposedly somebody in the post office was going to investigate it and call me back in 2 to 3 business days. Well, they didn't. So anyway, that was late in the day on Tuesday. So I had to come and find myself a campsite out here near Baker. So I've been camping near this creek here. You can see right here. Not in this exact spot, but just right out there a few yards. Not far from the creek. So anyway, the next day, Wednesday, what did I do? The next day, Wednesday, I called the Garrison post office in Utah, told them the situation. She was very helpful, and she said, well, could be this, could be that, could be this. Let me do some investigation and I'll get back to you. And in the meantime, I called the Boyd post office, because that's where the package got delivered to. So what happened, from Ely, Nevada, where I sent it, the main distribution center is in Las Vegas. So they sent it down to Las Vegas, and evidently what happened is the automated scanning machine scanned the return address and sent it to Boyd. Scanned the return address as the to address and sent it to Boyd. So I called the Boyd post office and they said, hey, you got this box? And so they go, oh yeah, that's right. We got it, and we sent it back to Fort Worth, the Fort Worth distribution center, because we knew there was a mistake. I said, okay, great. So now I'm thinking, oh, the problem's probably solved. So they sent it back to Fort Worth. So that was Wednesday. And then the next day, Thursday, guess what happened? Fort Worth sent it back to Boyd. So what happened there is the Fort Worth automated machine just read the old barcode and just spit it back to Boyd. So Boyd got it back, and I saw that. I was watching the tracking now, so I called Boyd back up, and we came to a conclusion that the best solution was for them to put a sticker over the old barcode and put a sticker over the return address and put in big letters "to" with an arrow pointing to the general delivery address at Garrison, so that then when it went back to Fort Worth, the machine would spit it out and a real person would have to look at it. So that's what happened. Boyd sent it back on Thursday night, but now, because it wasn't automated, it sat around Fort Worth for a day to be able to get to a human. So that was Friday. So then finally, Saturday morning, today, I see that it got sent out again, and I was in contact with the postmaster at Garrison, Utah, and she was able to actually go into the system and see the picture of the actual scan. And sure enough, the actual scan shows only the Garrison general delivery address. It doesn't show anything else, and it shows the new barcode on it. So fingers crossed, Fort Worth has now sent it back to Las Vegas, who is now going to send it to Beaver, Utah, who is now going to send it to Garrison, Utah. And estimated time of arrival? Maybe Monday morning, but most likely, I'm just kind of calculating all these different steps. Most likely it's going to be Tuesday morning. So I'm hanging around Baker and this nice little creek until tomorrow afternoon, Sunday afternoon. And then I'm going to walk halfway to Garrison. It's Garrison's only 7 miles, so I'm going to go about 3 or 4 miles and just camp out in the desert tomorrow night. And then first thing in the morning, go to the post office. She gets all her deliveries from Beaver, Utah at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'll go there into Garrison, and if the package there is there, great. Then I move on to Milford. If the package is not there, then I'm camping in Garrison, Utah for a day, and hoping to get it on Tuesday. Now, you're asking me, why do I have to hang around Baker, and why would I have to hang around Garrison? Well, because in Garrison, Utah, here's what's in Garrison, Utah. There's a post office, there's a church. That's it. No gas station, no store, no nothing. Why don't you just buy stuff in Baker? Because in Baker, there's only a little general store. I'll tell you about them in a second. There's only a little general store. They're nice people. There's only a little general store, but the general store is only geared towards the people that are camping up in Great Basin National Park and have maybe forgotten some last minute items. So there's nothing that you can really, there's not enough of what you can buy at the general store in Baker in order to sustain yourself for 93 miles and 1 week of hiking to Milford. So that's why I've been hanging around Baker. But there is kind of a silver lining. So I've gotten to, first off, really nice spot to camp, right? And I've met a lot of people here. And by the way, Baker is like population 50 in the winter. So I met a lot of nice people. And the people that run the general store over here, they're really, really, really nice. And they also run a motel here called the Stargazer Inn. So if you ever come out to Great Basin National Park and you don't feel like camping, just look up their website. They don't do anything on the travel websites. Look up their website, Stargazer Inn or something, and talk to Liz or James, and they'll give you a good deal. And it's a nice little place, and they have a nice little general store. But like I said, it's not good for a 7-day resupply. So all you hikers out there, if you're going eastbound on the American Discovery Trail from here to Milford, don't plan on this as a resupply point. Send yourself a resupply box either here to Baker, Nevada, or to Garrison, Utah. And you hikers that are going westbound, you could probably resupply yourself for the 2.5 or 3 day hike that it would take you to get to Ely if you were going to make a detour into Ely to make a resupply. Just know that you're going to be eating a lot of beef jerky, moon pies, nuts, and cookies. And that's about it. It's not a typical convenience store that's got stuff that will sustain you for a long time. But like I said, they're very nice and all that. And here in Baker, there's also a cafe, and there's also a good food truck, Sandra's food truck. And so anyway, visit Baker. Everybody's nice. And if you ever send yourself a resupply box, don't put the return address on the same label, even though it says from and to. Put the return address way up on the left-hand corner in small letters on the left-hand corner of the box, and put in big letters the address where you want it to go. I can't believe this. This is the second time this has happened to me. And so I haven't sent myself, that many resupply boxes over the past few years. Well, I've sent 6, and now this is 2 that have had a problem. So it's a 33% failure rate, post office. And the first one was back in 2019 when I sent a box to Center, Colorado, and it wound up in Cortez, Colorado, and then poof, disappeared. So 33% failure rate, not too good, post office. So anyway, that's my story about what happened here in Baker, Nevada. And let's find out what happens with that mysterious resupply box. And I guess we'll have to find that out on the next episode. Stay tuned.